Hello, Rama Rama Pupodu. Hope all are in good health, feeling great, wonderful, having a relaxed life and happy life. Now let's go to chapter 40, part 2, The Secret of Ramnam. As usual, at Jhansi, Ramdas stopped in the Ram Mandir, into which he was welcomed with open arms by the Panditji Ramkinkar. Mahadev Prasad and other friends were as loving in their attentions as ever. Here, Ramchandra Gupta with a new friend Ganesh Prasad came down from Allahabad to see Ramdas. An invitation from Mahoba drew Ramdas to that place. He again lived for 10 days in the cave on Gokar Parvat. Jagannath and other friends provided him with food. One afternoon, a young friend came to see Ramdas. He had some wounds on his forehead and knees. He told the story in connection with the injuries. Maharaj, last evening I was coming to see you. When I reached halfway to this place, darkness overtook me. In the dim light, I saw right on the path a huge leopard sitting on its haunches, staring viciously at me. I was so frightened that I gave forth a shriek and turning back fled from the place pell-mell. In the darkness I stumbled over the stones and fell down several times. However, I got clear of the grasp of the wild beast and reached home. The injuries that you behold on me were caused by my falls during that flight for my very life. From Mahoba, in response to a call, Ramdas proceeded to Chhattarpur, where he halted in the Krishna Mandir. Bhavani Prasad overwhelmed with him with kindness and hospitality. Here, Ramdas learned that Swami Nirbhaya Nandaji and his spouse resided at the time in Navagon. Ramdas went to the village for their darshan. He arrived at their residence one evening by motor bus. The blessed pair was overjoyed to see Ramdas, but his halt with them proved short-lived. For about 7 o'clock, Bhavani Prasad and his devout wife turned up suddenly in a motor car. They urged Ramdas to return with them to Chhattarpur, as the Maharaj of the state was anxious to see him. So he was back at Chhattarpur that very night. Early morning the next day, Gulab Rai, son of Bhavani Prasad, secretary to the Maharaja, escorted Ramdas to the palace of the Maharaja. He was a decrepit old man. He was weak and emaciated. Ramdas took his seat beside him. I have been repeating Ramnam for over 30 years, he said, but still my mind is as restless as ever. How, then, could that name be said to possess the power of quelling the tumult of the desire-ridden mind? Peace can be attained, Ramdas replied, by the japa of Ramnam only when you do so in a spirit of nishkama, that is, with the sole desire for liberation and peace, and without longings for worldly things. God grants our prayer when we appeal to Him with an earnest fervor of the heart only for pure devotion to His holy feet, and for nothing else. So the secret of Ram Nam is in the taking of it for realizing the goal of life, which is immortality or union with God. You are perfectly right. It is very hard to get Nishkama Bhakti, he observed, and changing the course of conversation said, I have got a retainer of mine seriously ill from a gunshot. He was one of the party who went for hunting, and by oversight on the part of one of the party, he was shot in the thigh. His condition is very precarious. I would request you to give him the benefit of your darshan, and I have faith that he would be all right by your blessings. Accordingly, Ramdas was taken to the cottage of the wounded man. Ramdas found him perfectly restless through pain, and his relations crowded round him with deep anxiety. Ramdas was made to pass his hands over the body and the affected part of the wounded man. Then he left the house and returned to Gulab Rais. Next day he left Chhattarpur by the Maharaja's motor car for Navagon, where he dined in the company of saints and proceeded by the same motor car to Harpalpur station, and here, catching a train, arrived at Jhansi. Ramdas learnt later that the Maharaja's servant recovered from the serious hurt God be praised. That's all, folks. Let's see in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Pupoda.